All right.
Great.
Yay. Okay. So Donnie, tell me more about, like, do you walk Trigger on a leash? Do you why do you feel I'm so faithful with walking my dog?
I just think your consistency is where we really lack. We take him on sporadic exercises, but you're like a 10 time a day, like the whole neighborhood sort of thing. We've never been good at that.
I'm sorry, did you say 10 times a day, Donnie?
I feel like my dog barks all the time out the window because he wants to be your dog.
Your dog is taking notes on
my dog wants to be your dog.
Well, Dalton recently has started using the longboard and having Bogey pull him on the longboard to eliminate the extra steps. So I really like that efficiency.
It's good accountability for us. We're glad you're there.
So glad. Well, yeah.
Yeah. And I just want to say for the record that I think I love that you just pointed that out, Donnie, because I think consistency is like, I think that Meg has, Meg's middle name is consistency.
That does not surprise me.
I'm going to save that recording forever.
Forever. I mean, but seriously, it's like what,
you know,
what are the things that set Meg apart? And I think seriously, consistency. Like I feel like you're so consistent in your habits and your diet and your like in all those things. Like you just are like you know what you want to do and you're consistent in it. Whereas the rest of us are like all over the board. You know, like I'm gonna have a kale salad and some Cheetos. You know, and I'm like Donnie. Like I'm gonna think about walking my dog every day, but in reality, it's gonna happen twice a month.
Yeah, so, we just close the blinds so we don't have to look at it.
Oh my gosh. Well, that's so nice. But I will say it's not, there is no perfection over here. So thank you.
I didn't say that. Consistency. I said consistency.
Well, thank you. Thank you. That's so nice. And to divert the attention from over here, because I'm sweating, I say we hop right into it, y'all. I think folks have hopped on. I think we are ready to dive into our guest today. We're really excited to have my neighbor and our friend, Donnie Griggs, MC.
Awesome.
You ready?
Yes, absolutely. So guys, for those of you who don't know Donnie is the lead pastor at One Harbor Church here in Morehead City. He is also, Donnie, you're the chaplain for the Morehead City EMS and fire. Is that right? Mm-hmm. Which then, so what that means, guys, and why that's relevant for us today is that links Donnie in kind of with the community that One Harbor supports, and also specifically that One Harbor's coffee shop called Calico Creek Coffee supports, which is those who are impacted by drug and alcohol addiction. Right. And that's really one of the things that we wanted to focus on today. Certainly we want to shine a light on Donnie and on his organization. And really what we want to let you guys know, Meg was just very eloquently saying this before we hopped on, which is, you know, that we're all always looking for ways that we can support folks in need in our community. And we have one for you today that is a winner, because all you have to do is go and get a delicious cup of coffee or a latte or whatever you'd like from Calico Creek Coffee at One Harbor, and you are supporting these folks who struggle with addiction.
So cool.
So, Donnie, thank you for being here. And I think we want to hop right in and just ask you to tell us a little bit about how does one of us going and buying coffee or anything from Calico Creek help folks in need?
Yeah, so super easy. You can order online or you can show up in person. You go through the process like normal. There's a barista there to help you think through, what you want to drink, and there's all kinds of customized options. And then from there, you'll get like a little token, and you get told a little bit about like why we have a coffee shop and what we're really trying to do here. And then you take that token, you walk over a few feet, and you put it in a box with a whole bunch of other people's tokens. And some people just stick cash in there. And there you get to read a little bit about the vision, the mission for the coffee shop, and you get to read some of the stories of people that we've been able to help. And all of our proceeds, all the profits from the coffee shop go directly towards helping people in our area get help on their journey of recovery. And so that means everything from supporting local ministries that are, rehab facilities. It means sometimes the transportation costs are involved to get someone to detox or get them to a rehab. And we, we're involved in this whole journey with people. So, once they complete a 12 or 18 month rehab, we'll come alongside them and help them, get an apartment, try to help them find a job, help them get a car. And so all this money goes into all those kinds of things.
That's pretty unbelievable. Logistically speaking, who oversees all that, Donnie? Do you do that, or is there somebody that works with you?
Definitely not me. No, there's a guy named Dylan who runs the coffee bar. He's there a lot, and he's got a whole team full of some staff, and a lot of volunteers who are all kind of bought in on this mission.
That's so cool. I actually talked to Dylan when I went to pick up our cold brew the other day. He was pretty awesome. So it looks like you guys are in good hands over there at Calico Creek. Now, Donnie, going off of kind of what you just said, do you have kind of a ballpark range of how much you guys have donated since this coffee shop opened? And when did you guys open?
Yeah, so it kind of started somewhere middle of July. And it took us a while to sort of figure out, what are open hours, like, and all the rest. And then obviously 2020 was kind of brutal. So I think we're in the neighborhood of like just under $6,500 that we've been able to directly give away. But that's on the upward swing now. So it's starting to kind of, words getting out, people are showing up. And so, as that happens more and more, I mean, really the potential is endless,
Absolutely. Yeah.
And I think, go ahead, Mary.
Sorry, Meg. Go ahead.
Well, I was going to say,
just awareness is what I was going to say.
Yeah. And I think the coolest thing about it is you don't have to necessarily attend One Harbor. You don't even have to go to church. You can walk in, the public is welcome, and you feel so, I don't know, it's such a cool space where I'm going there on Friday to work for a couple hours with my laptop. Like, it's a really neat atmosphere, and it's welcoming no matter who you are. That's what I really like about it. Yeah.
Yep.
That's hugely important, Meg. I think that's such a good point to make, because I might have overlooked that here. That this is not, certainly the ministry and the things that you guys do in your church, are hugely important. And also, this is something that is separate. It's related and it's in the same spirit, but that it's separate. So I love that. I think that's incredible. What about, so Donnie, like what are some things about Calico Creek that people don't know that you wish they did know?
Well, I mean, I think that it's there is one thing. I mean, because it gets the word out.
Yeah.
I think too that, there are options, like you mentioned, Megan, like, getting cold brew. We've had office spaces who've come and said, hey, like, can you help us with, providing coffee for our office or our business? I mean, that kind of stuff is great. And then I think too, and you mentioned it just a second ago, but that people can go there and hang out during the day. We have free Wi-Fi, nice clean bathrooms, great facility, music playing. There's a big grass lawn. There's a playground. So we kind of thought through, like, whether it's moms with kids or friends or people who just want a kind of a nice quiet space to work. But that's always there, And so it's not just a place where you get a coffee and that money goes to helping people who are struggling with addiction. It's also a place where you can hang out and enjoy coffee and get some work done too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that so really what you're saying is that number one, we want people to know that Calico Creek exists, and then number two, we want them to know that it's not just this chance to give back in that sense, but it's also a chance to become part of a community, right?
Yep. Right.
So I think that's awesome. That's really, really good. So I think one of the questions that I want to know, and we got to have the cold brew. So, and that's one thing, the cold brew, you can get it in this big growler.
Yep.
That is awesome. So you can
refill the growler
in your fridge.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, how awesome is that? It was delicious. But so Donnie, what do you get? What's your order?
So I'm usually kind of boring, like straight old black coffee, but I do like, they've got this protein, like this low carb protein powder they can put in like mochas and lattes and all that. So I like this like protein mocha latte thing. It's really good. So
Yum.
I feel like you can get, non-fat milk and you get protein powder, and it's a nice little combo.
Yeah. So. And I mean, anything you get there is delicious. I know you guys have Italian sodas. I mean, you guys have everything. It's so neat, and it's delicious, of course. And with the growlers, pro tip, I'm pretty sure you guys still do this, but I think you can get a growler, fill it up for the first time, and then if you bring it back, there's a little discount every time you refill it.
Yeah, definitely.
And it's the best cold brew. It's so
I think too, like, because I'm from here, like I grew up drinking gas station coffee. I don't need the fancy stuff.
Yeah.
So we make really good straight up black coffee, and no one will judge you for ordering that. And then we also do the very fancy kind of pour overs and flat whites and all that stuff too. So I think there's a little something for everybody there, which is good.
Yeah, that's awesome. Now, Donnie, as we kind of wrap up, we have two kind of a little bit deeper questions. Of course, we care about your coffee order and everything, but we also want to know what you're most proud of with Calico Creek Coffee specifically.
Yeah, I would say honestly, that it's working comes to mind. I grew up with a brother who was a heroin addict and a Xanax addict and everything addict for 20 years. He's going on 3.5 years sobriety, and
amazing.
And a lot of my friends, have been addicts, and some of them aren't with us anymore. And so, kind of being from here, I'm proud that things like this exist, that there are ways for us to help people who want help. Yeah. Because it can feel very daunting, when you think about how many people are affected by this in our area. And then I think too, something that comes to mind is that we've had some of our staff and some of our volunteers are a combination of people who were addicts or are on the journey to recovery. So we're able to provide some job for them, through this, which is kind of a dream with this thing, is that eventually that could be more of it. And then we've even got people, some of the volunteers that were formerly law enforcement or whatever, had a very different interaction with folks with addiction. And this has been a way for them to feel like they're coming alongside, folks in a different way, and so it's been neat to see those things happen. And yeah, all the stories of people that we've been able to help. I mean, that stuff really, really helps.
Man, I mean, that's certainly something to be proud of. I mean, of course, One Harbor and the community that you've created, but this mini community within that community, I think is definitely something that, again, as people start to learn more about Calico Creek Coffee, I just think, on the up and up, and there's, so much to be done from what you've said locally, in the realm of drug and alcohol addiction. And I think you guys are shining a light on it beautifully and in a way that, I think is helpful both for the people in need and helpful for the people, on the other side of it who want to lend a helping hand. So I think that's really, really awesome.
I do too. I love that. And I think the way that you tied it up with the bow is just so beautiful too. Yeah. I also want to say how awesome that this just started in July. I mean, that's pretty incredible.
A couple years ago, but yeah.
Okay. I wondered about that. Okay. I was going to say, man, I mean, you guys have really been clicking with gas. So how long has it been?
So my numbers might be a little fuzzy.
Yeah.
We started off helping on Sunday mornings sometime around 2018, but it took us, like I said, a long time to find our way through, what hours to be open and who was going to work. And I mean, it's really a kind of a particular kind of volunteer or staff member who, is willing to work with this kind of thing, And so it took the guys some time to find, and right when they were really getting their momentum, like a lot of things in our area, 2020 just threw a wet blanket on it, but they've persisted through it. They've kept it up. And it looks like, as things begin to change here locally, it looks like, things will be right back. So we're excited.
I think so too. And I think so if you're somebody who was aware of it before COVID and before all this, right now, it feels like that the world is opening up. It feels like that, we're getting there. I know we're not there yet, but as folks are getting their vaccines and all that. So how fun to emerge and find that this idea that started several years ago has really blossomed into something that is, so impactful and so welcoming to anyone who wants to participate and help out. Yeah. So, and enjoy a delicious cup of coffee, which who doesn't want to do that? Donnie, I cannot get behind your gas station coffee. I mean, that now I will absolutely come and have a cup of black coffee at Calico Creek Coffee, but I am not having gas.
I'm a simple man.
Don't knock the gas station coffee till you try it. I mean, it can hit the spot sometimes.
You must be.
It's 2 against 1, Mary Cheatham. Sorry.
Well, I'll fold. So, Meg, will you ask Donnie our favorite question?
I sure will. Donnie, we ask all of our guests on Espresso with MC this question, and it comes from a podcast that both Mary Cheatham and I listen to. So it's not our question. I wish we could claim it. But Donnie, we're curious, what's saving your life right now?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a pretty broad answer, but I think it's just stories of hope.
Yeah.
I think that's always the case, especially in this subject we're talking about. I mean, the narrative locally is so depressing. You feel like everywhere you go, you're hearing of people who overdosed and didn't make it, or, other kind of addiction related, arrest or deaths. I mean, you go to a gas station to get gas station coffee and you see Busted magazine laying there, and you're just confronted again and again with just how depressing and hard and sad. And I just think hearing stories of people making it out, hearing stories of families getting supported. And, I ran into a guy last night who we've come alongside and helped. And I think he's 3 years sober now. And he's now sponsoring I think 6 or 8 people. And just stuff I just was in the grocery store and he came up and just started. I think those things, they keep you going, and we need, thank you guys for doing what you're doing, because we need a lot more stories of hope in our community, than we've got. And that's my dream, is that eventually you hear more about that than, everyone who wants help can get it. And that you're hearing all kinds of stories of people who are getting it. So.
Man,
That's
I have
really
goosebumps. Yeah.
I know that's really good. That's going to stick with me.
Well,
thank you, Donnie.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Donnie, thank you for being with us. Thanks for being kind of raw and sharing those stories and kind of educating folks watching about the things that they can do to help serve our local community through One Harbor and through Calico Creek Coffee. So we appreciate you, and thank you for all you do for our community. I mean, we could say an entire list of things that you do. So our community is better because you're in it, Donnie. You're the best.
Thank you, Donnie. Thanks.
Have a good one, Donnie. Have a great weekend.
Thank you, you too.
Wow.
Meg, that was good.
Yeah, he's fantastic. And he's my next door neighbor. How lucky am I?
So cool. I know. Yeah. That's so awesome.
And did you know that Lana and John used to work at, actually, I think they still volunteer there a little bit, but they used to work at Calico Creek.
I did. We need to get her in here making us some coffee drinks.
I know. That's why she's so good at using your fancy coffee maker. Actually, it's just,
And always remembering my coffee order.
It's so true. It's so true.
Yeah.
MC, what is saving your life? Or I can go first if you need to think about it.
I actually know mine. It's funny because I was talking on the phone this morning with somebody who I love, who is going through a little bit of a hard time right now. Mm-hmm. And I was reminded of something actually that Jordan says to me that I said to her this morning, and that I've just been thinking about ever since, which is, what if this hard thing that you're going through, what if this thing that's happened to you is actually happening for you? So, who are you becoming as you're navigating this difficult time, whether it's a difficult day or a difficult hour or a difficult season or whatever it is?
Yeah.
What if you can shift your mindset to see this as happening for you? And so, I don't know, it's just really got me thinking, and it made me, I was already thinking about that. And then to hear what Donnie had to say, it just really, the folks for whom, this addiction was a struggle, and then they overcame it, and now they're able to help other people, in a sense that some of that happened for them because they were then able to be a savior, a saving grace to other people. So anyway, I don't know. I just, that's what I'm going to take with me today, is just thinking about anything that I'm going through that feels difficult. Mm-hmm. How is it really happening for me instead of to me?
I really like that. I think the 4 versus 2, keeping that can be applied to any problem, big or small, that you go through. I really like that. I think I've heard that before, but I haven't heard it explained as eloquently as you just explained it.
Well, I don't know about that, but it's a good one. So how about you, Meg? What's saving your life?
Well, MC, the weather this week.
Oh.
Okay. Can you see my snowmanness? When Donnie was like, when we were talking at the beginning, I was like, do I look this pale? Anyways, this week, the sunshine has completely, I don't know, it just is a mood booster. I think that, I don't know, just more time spent outside, whether I'm taking phone calls on the back porch or just taking a walk with my dog.
Apparently, I was going to say, what do you mean when you're walking your dog for the 10 times?
All that free time that I have. No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, I think the weather this week, I know it just sounds so, I don't know, broad and boring, but that really did save my life.
I think you're right, especially after we've all been cooped up for so long. My mom would say that it's been a shot in the arm.
Oh, Miss Carolyn.
Oh yeah, it's her favorite. Mm-hmm. It's a shot in the arm. The weather this week has been a shot in the arm.
Well, how relevant.
I was going to say, that's exactly right. That's exactly right. Amidst all the vaccinations, the weather this week has also been a shot in the arm.
Well, I love that.
Well, I love that.
Should we end that? Should we end? Happy Friday too. I think we should start to end every Espresso with MC with I love that.
I love that.
I love that. All right. Well, MC, have a great weekend. I will see you on Monday.
Sounds great. Bye, Meg.
Bye.